151 in the snatch. That was good enough for 5th place.
See how much the arms are shaking in that position. That was harder than it should have been. Obviously the warm-up had gone fairly well for him to up his starting weight from 180 to 182. But I wasn't overly convinced with that. I think there's a bit more room for improvement.
As you said earlier, he's very long-armed, isn't he?
Yes, he did. He mistimed the bounce at the bottom as well, which took more out of it than it needed. Hands are quite close. Somebody with such wide shoulders really needs to have his hands another inch or so wider, but some lifters, like myself, really struggle to get their hands into that position. Puts a lot of strain through the wrists and the elbows.
Yeah, you do see some lifters going, if they're flexible enough, going very wide, almost trying to turn it into
if only I
a
could
snatch
do that.
at the top.
Well,
Yeah,
the reason for moving the hands wider is there's less distance for the bar to travel overhead, so technically it's more efficient.
182. Dimitrov, who just got the 180. This is a huge ask here.
Well, that's what you call the sticking point.
Oh my goodness.
He needs to stand still. Well,
I think his elbows were all right.
Give him credit for that. That was a massive fight.
182, 3 white lights, and a huge congratulations there to Dimitrov of Bulgaria.
Just watch how hard this clean is. Almost stops. So he does stop.
You see a lot of lifters just giving up there. That was a lot of heart. And then this second battle, goodness.
Gutsy lift.
From start to finish, he must have been wrestling with that weight for about 10 seconds there. That's it can be all over in a couple of seconds. 185 for Unanyan of Russia. The youngster hit 152 in the snatch, missing 156. At his very best, he's hit 192. He's the world junior champion from last year. And indeed the world youth champion from 2011.
Tremendous leg strength. Just, oh goodness me, look at the end of the bar. There's a 2.5 kilo weight inside the 5. Well, yeah, he's got every right to be annoyed with that. That is a mistake.
A misload?
Yeah, definitely a misload. Can't cover that one up, I'm afraid. Well, it's a sign of a good lifter. Only realised once the bar was on his shoulders. Yeah, there's boos from the crowd, and quite rightly so. That is an error from the loaders. And it's quite dangerous, you know, if the bar's misloaded, it can put the lifter off and cause muscle pulls. So, and it's going to take a lot out of him. That's, you know, a big effort. You only get 2 or 3 efforts that are maximal, and to recover from each one is tough. He's now got to recover from an extra one that he hadn't planned on.
Instantly knew that it was wrong there.
There's nothing you can do there when the bar's on your shoulders. You've got to go for it.
Well, Mr. Johansson walks over, president of the jury.
Well, this will all be taking time, which is a good thing. Gives him more recovery. They've got to give him at least 2 minutes now before he comes out for that weight again. That's really disappointing, and it's really annoying as an athlete when there's a mistake like that.
So it is Tigran Matrosyan who's been called out next. 185 will open his account, but we're not sure he's going to go here because...
well, that lift should be reinstated. So Unanyan should be coming out again for what will be his first attempt again.
And time on the clock there. 1 minute came up.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Well, I can hear people saying 2 minutes, so they're still glancing up at the screen. And when these things happen, as we said before, there is a chain that it has to go through for all of the different jobs. It's frustrating for everyone, of course, most of all for the lifter, but he's just got to keep his cool here.
Well, it's frustrating. That was definitely a mistake from the loader. However, the centre referee's job is also to make sure that the bar is loaded correctly. So the buck, I think, stops with the centre referee. The jury, you could see them shaking their head there, because they then would have been the next people to see it. So it's kind of a chain of people that should have stopped that happening. Very unfortunate. It's a mistake. That's all it is.
So it's Tigran Martirosyan who is going to come out for 185, and presumably Unanyan is going to follow on 185 after him. But at the moment it's showing as a missed lift, so we'll have to wait and see. Martirosyan 157 was his best snatch. He took the gold in the snatch by virtue of body weight ahead of Gadelli.
Wow, very, very strong in the legs. Great speed driving out of the clean. And again, massive leg strength, massive leg drive. Generate as much height on the bar as he did for the power jerk.
Well, we saw the squat jerk earlier. There's our perfect example of the power jerk. Doesn't dip as low as we've seen.
He might need
Great
to
power
when the weight gets heavier, but that was definitely a power. I'm looking at the scoreboard thinking Unanyan must have gone up from 185.
Yeah, 186 appears on the scoreboard at the moment, and 185, and Alexandru Rosu is coming out now.
He would have gone up to 186 to give himself a little more time to recover.
Yeah, he certainly looked very strong in the clean phase anyway. Now Rosu hit 180 on his second attempt.
Oof. Well, trying to do too much with his upper body, not really using his legs to full advantage. It's not a great day in the office.
Rosu did 3 out of 3 in the snatch, 148 is best there for 7th place in the snatch, then 180 his best. And that means his total is 328, which leaves him in 5th position overall. Still leading overall is Martirosyan on 342. Well, big cheers here for Razmik Unanyan. If you've just joined us, then he came out to lift, but the bar was misloaded on his left-hand side. He failed the lift. Now he's gone up a kilogram to 186 to buy himself some time here. This is a big test for the junior world champion.
Needs to steady himself. He'll get away with that. Close to elbow movement there.
Yeah, certainly shoulder movement, but surely the referees are going to be kind to him after their previous mistake in the load. And 3 white lights it is, 186 for the Russian. Well, if he'd have been given red lights there for his elbows, it would have been, I think there could have been a riot in the audience.
He was good there, no movement. Just looked to be in an awkward position. I think it's the way his feet were, made it look even more wonky.
Gadelli came in very late in the snatch competition, failed his opener. He's coming at 186 here, and that means just Kedemaj, the other Albanian, is still to join. Had real trouble with his lockout in the snatch, and again that was dodgy with the left arm there. There was a wobble. See what the referees think. 3 white lights. They obviously take into account the fact that he can't perfectly lock out that left arm.
That they shouldn't, yeah, take it into account, but at the same time, there shouldn't be any movement. I think what we're seeing there is more the body trembling than an actual lockout. Remember, these are heavy weights now, and there's a lot of strain going through the arms and the shoulders.
Semi Yagsi, European champion from 2011, has jumped 6 kilograms to 186. Because of a fairly weak snatch, 145. He's sitting all the way down in 8th in the overall race. This would bring him up to 6th.
Well, the bar was at arm's length, slightly in front though. He pushed himself back away from the bar. So disappointing when you've given so much effort on the clean. Not the tidiest of techniques, pulling with the arms way too early. Does not allow the legs to be as efficient as they should be.
This is how it stands so far. First attempts, 186, good for both Gadeli and Unanyan of Russia. The Armenian on 185, Pippa on 182. All of them still have 2 more lifts to come. Karamaj, though, has yet to join in. He's posted a 187 opener. Areas right down the bottom, just below the Moldovan Kaptari, who failed in the B group earlier today. Well, we expect Karamaj to come out next on 187. It's going to be a tight race, this. All of the athletes who are close in the snatch, Gadeli, Martirosyan, Karamaj, are also very closely matched in the clean and jerk. Now, Artyom Pippa goes from 182 to 187, which would give him a total good enough to bring him into 4th position.
No way. His left arm has never locked there.
Yeah, he taps his lower back there. Hopefully that battle hasn't taken too much out of him. He still has 1 more attempt to come. I imagine he'll probably come out in 187 again, as that was...
And he's complaining of a back injury, but the starting position doesn't help that. He was so far over the bar. All the weight was on his lower back rather than being able to drive effectively with the legs as it came off the floor.
From that angle, they wouldn't have seen his bent arm, though, so they probably thought it was a fair fight as he was trying to go for it, but from right early on, he didn't catch it properly. Now, Semi Yagsi comes out for his final attempt. 187. He's gone up a kilogram. He's got 180 on the scoreboard, successful from his first lift. But from 3 years ago, when he's the European champion, he is well down. 192, his very best from back then. So, ranked 8th position, that's it. His day is over. 325 kilograms is total.
Never really got up to that, did he? Never really fully extended.
Yeah, and just didn't have the power like he did 3-4 years ago.
That's what age does to you.
I'm afraid so, yeah. He is 26 years old, Semi Yagsi. So, weightlifter.